Tonight's my horror night.
Welcome to the Last Video Store. I'm your host, Bud Haddonfield, and today we're in the middle of September, so that means we're officially in Halloween season, and we're going to be doing a 6-part episode series, the countdown to Halloween. And the first movie I picked forward is going to be one of the coolest Halloween movies to come out of the 80s. I'm not talking about Michael Myers, I'm talking about 1986's Trick or Treat.
Up, sleepyhead.
It's body time.
Rock and roll will never die. At least not this Halloween.
You've heard of raising spirits from the dead by incantations, right?
Yes.
I did that by playing the record backwards.
You're kidding.
Sammy Kerr. He's a rock and roll nightmare.
I am a big fan of yours. I've got all your records. Shut up!
You're the babe, and babe is you.
This message is meant for me.
How can you listen to this stuff?
Shut it off! Shut it off!
What have you done to your stereo?
I wanted a new one.
Sammy Kerr. His fans won't let him die. He won't let them live.
You should be loyal to your hero. Make it turn on you.
Trick or treat.
Looks like we better check out the party punch.
Trick or Treat was directed by Charles Martin Smith, who was an actor. You've seen him American Graffiti, The Untouchables. He was a little shorter, nerdy character, balding with glasses. He stopped acting, became a director, did pretty successful. He did like a lot of children animal movies like Air Bud and I think A Dolphin's Tale. But his first time as a baddie, I think he hit a home run. It starred Mark Price as Eddie Weinbauer, who's our lead. He was Skippy from Family Ties, Michael J. Fox's character's best friend. That's kind of what he's always referred to as. Also, Tony Fields. Tony Fields plays our antagonist, Sammy Kerr, the rock legend who died and came back as a electric demon. He was a solid gold dancer. Famous for that, he played a zombie in the music video for Thriller. He did a couple things, I think, for Queen. He was requested by Freddie Mercury, so that's pretty cool. Lisa Ogilvie, which I'm really butchering that, but she's the love interest, Leslie. Glenn Morgan, who plays Eddie's best friend Roger, he also became a director, and he had directed the remake to Black Christmas, the better one, not the shitty one that came out a couple years ago with our dude from Princess Bride. But also appearances by Gene Simmons and Ozzy Osbourne, and it was released on October 24th, 1986. Eddie is completely distraught that his hero is dead, and he's very upset. He goes to the local radio station, plays the rock and roll music, and he goes see his friend who's the DJ, played by Gene Simmons, and his character is Nuke. Kind of like a Wolfman Jack type character. And one of the pieces of trivia was Gene Simmons was initially offered the role of Sammy Kerr, but he turned it down because he wanted to play the DJ. That's pretty cool, I guess. I also know Blackie Lawless from Wasp, the daddy of Anthony Kiedis from Red Hot Chili Peppers, was also offered the role of Sammy Kerr, but apparently he turned it down because he didn't like the script. But he was in National Lampoon's Class Reunion. Questionable. But anyway, he's out there visiting with Nuke, and Nuke saying how, yes, I knew Sammy Kerr. He was angry. He was always angry. He was confused. He was nothing like you. You have a good head on your shoulders. This dude was fucking evil. So you shouldn't be loving this dude as much as you do. So Nuke tells him, I have the very last, and it's a big old black record because that's how you played music back in the day before there were CDs. I have the very last album from Sammy Kerr, and we're going to be playing it at midnight Halloween, and he presents it to Ragman, and I want you to have it. So Eddie, who is completely stoked about this, goes home and listens to it, and it's really cool and badass. Well, they're having like a secret party at the high school, and Eddie, who's kind of liking this Lisa chick, she invites him to come to the party, which he does, but Tim and his goons didn't want him there, so they try to drown him, which is weird because he has his little backpack on, and they put like a little 5 or 10 pound weight in the backpack, push him in the pool, and he sinks to the bottom. So Lisa's there to help him, and Eddie's really pissed off at this point. So he goes home and he starts fucking around with that brand new record, and he starts playing it backwards, and Sammy Kerr is indeed talking to him, saying his name Ragman, and that they're all gonna pay. So at this point, Eddie's kind of brainwashed, and he thinks that Sammy's here just to help him to get revenge on the people who have wronged him. So he kind of has a little situation with Tim and his goons, and it's a pretty cool scene because they chase him all around school, and he has like comes down traps that he set up. Excuse me, like he knocks over like a mop bucket, so one slips out of the door and whatnot. And it leads to Tim getting in trouble because Eddie thinks, well, he makes it think that he goes into this room, which is actually the teacher's lounge. So Tim grabs a fire extinguisher, comes in there thinking that it's going to be Eddie, and sprays all the teachers. So his ass is in trouble. Tim actually corners him later on in I'm guessing the metal shop class, and you have some kind of drill, whatever it was, that goes off, and it catches Tim's tie, and it's about to hit him in the face. But Eddie stops it just in time to save him. And yeah, Eddie's feeling pretty powerful now, thinking that, you know, he has the world's greatest best friend and everything is going to be good because it's him and Sammy against evil, which he doesn't know that Sammy is the actual embodiment of evil. So Eddie makes a tape of the album, and it is pretty much, I guess it's a copy to where Sammy can jump out and leap from place to place wherever his tape is, wherever his music playing and whatnot. So he gives the tape to Tim as a peace offering. So one night, Tim and his girlfriend's making out up there in Lover's Lane, and he steps out because he has to piss or whatever. So Tim's girlfriend takes the tape and the Walkman. Again, that's something that we used to listen to music back in the day. She puts it on, and some kind of weird whatever it is actually, the effect's not bad. And I think all the effects was done by Kevin Yeager, who's done a bunch of shit over the years. He's a very recognizable special effects artist. Well, getting back to it, it turns out to be like this little dragon demon monster from hell, and it completely fucks her up. She doesn't die, but she gets messed up, and Tim knows that Eddie's definitely something not to be fucking around with. So he goes over to Eddie's house and has a funny bit where he's screaming Weinbauer, but the way he's saying it, it sounds like he's saying white power, so definitely don't do that. Fuck racism, seriously. So Eddie comes out, and Tim pretty much tells him, hey, I don't know what the hell's going on with you, but something's bad happening, and you better stay away from me. So Eddie thinks that, yeah, I'm pretty much on top of the world. And that's when Sammy comes out of the radio, the speaker, whatever the hell it is, and he pretty much tells Eddie his real plan, that nope, I'm going to take over the world, you're going to be my minion, devil's going to live on, evil forever. You know what I'm talking about. So Eddie, not wanting nothing to do with it, pretty much beats up his stereo record, all that other shit, destroys it all. And Sammy goes out and about and goes back to the radio realm for now, which the tape that he made for Tim, he's like, shit, I got to get it back because it's pretty much a portal for Sammy to jump out wherever. So he enlists his best friend Roger to go get the tape. And sure enough, he does. There's actually a funny scene where he's trying to unlock it with a coat hanger of the car door, and he's fooling around with it. He don't think he can get it, but it's actually unlocked to begin with. So he gets the tape and he goes back home. To stop right here, there's some interchangeable scenes that we see. there is Ozzy Osbourne, who, like I said earlier, he plays a part of this television reverend or whatever the hell he is, and talking about how he's going to stop rock and roll and whatnot. And Sammi Curr reaches, touches the TV, swipes it, and you can see that Ozzy Osbourne's character gets fucked up, and it later on reveals that he died of a brain aneurysm. Well, after Roger gets the tape, he goes back home, and there's another character who's a retired school teacher. She's played by the same actress who played Large Marge, and she's also talking about, you know, how rock and roll needs to be stopped, and these people are dangerous, they're evil, and Roger puts on the tape to listen to it, and Sammi Curr jumps out and gets Roger. Well, as the Large Marge teacher character's talking, he reaches in the TV, pulls her out. She comes out like a little miniature, I guess, and her character dies off too, which is actually pretty cool. Well, anyway, Sammy tells Roger that, hey, you're going to play my tape for the school dance, and if you don't, I'm going to kill you, and I'm going to take over the world, and now you're going to be my minion. So Roger's pretty goddamn scared, so I guess he agrees. So, yeah, this movie's actually pretty goddamn good.
Demonic beast. What happened to the good old simple love song? I love you. That's a good word to use. Nowadays, they have to write some sickness. It's just absolutely sick and bizarre, and I'm going to do my utmost best to try and stop it now.
Anything you'd like to say in conclusion?
These evil people have just got to be stopped.
He was reports indicate that Gillstrom died of a massive hemorrhage of the brain, leading to speculation that he may have been the victim of foul play.
I am a big fan of yours. I have all your records.
Shut up!
Gillstrom seemed to have self-destructed. Our weekly focus
Play my tape for me tonight.
Well, Cavell was a close friend of the
Or
late
die.
Martin Gillstrom. Mrs. Cavell.
Maggie, it's a sad day for all of us. But as a teacher... Thank you, Maggie. You know, I've been a school teacher for 37 years, and there's an addiction that is reaching an epidemic proportion in our schools. I am referring to rock music. On this very night, 10 years ago, along this same stretch of road, in a dense fog, just like this, I saw the worst accident I ever seen. There was this sound, like a garbage truck dropped off the Empire State Building. And when they finally pulled the driver's body from the twisted, burning wreck, it looked like this.
So now it's time for the big dance. Eddie's grounded at home for all the shenanigans that's been going on, and he's talking with Leslie and whatnot, who's at the dance. And Roger, who's in fear of his life, plays the tape so Eddie can hear it in the background while he's talking to Leslie on the phone. So he rushes off to the school. There's supposed to be a band that's playing, but of course we get a cool scene of the singer messing around with the speaker. Sammy reaches in, pulls him out. He shoots himself out. Excuse me. And now he's legit in the real world, and he plays Fast Ways Trick or Treat, which is a really cool song. It's the same song that's on the trailer. So he starts zapping people with his guitar power, and they start blowing up and whatnot, and it's cool. It's a riot. But when he starts zapping people more and more, the crowd's like, oh shit, we're all gonna die. So they run out. It's a big old thing. And that's when Eddie shows up. Well, Tim goes to attack him in the hallway, but Sammy gets Tim and kills him off. And Roger goes to save Tim, but Roger gets zapped, but Roger doesn't die, but he gets fucked up. So it's Roger, Eddie, and Leslie having to formulate a plan because they remember that, oh shit, Nuke's going to be playing this album at midnight. So we got to get to going and taking care of this issue. So the cops show up at the wrong time, and they're trying to figure out exactly what happened when one of Tim's buddy blames Eddie for all the shenanigans, even though Eddie and Samuel didn't like each other. And the cops go after Eddie, and it's this whole big thing, and we get some pretty cool kill sequences with one of the police officers. He goes to tase Sammy, but he reverses the electricity and blows him up, and I think all we get is smoking shoes. So pretty much the chase is on. Eddie goes back, I think, to his house, and Eddie's over there trying to attack him, but Sammy's over there trying to attack him, and Sammy trips, hand falls in the toilet, and he kind of gets a little fucked up, and that's when he's like, oh shit, water really hurts this dude. So they got a formulated plan. So Ragman steals a police car, and the plan kind of works out perfectly with them going to the radio station, and it does play because it's on an automatic timer. So I has Ragman is kind of going outside of the city limits and whatnot. As the song's playing, Sammy pops up in the backseat behind the cage of the police car, and it was a trap all along, established by Eddie, who is driving the car off a bridge into the lake because, again, water's going to hurt this dude. So it goes into all wells that ends well. Hopefully there's not another copy of it. And that is the end of Trick or Treat.
Crazy. I mean, weird stuff's been happening all week.
Excuse me? Can we get some help here, please?
Hey! That's the guy right there, Eddie Weinbauer. Hey, you!
Hold it! Hold it right there!
I'm a snitch, bitch, snitching ass bitch, snitch, bitch, snitching ass bitch.
I can't say enough how much I love this movie. Very badass. You got the combination of horror movies and rock and roll music, horror movies from the 80s, so that's always a great combination. You got good acting, and the first movie directed by Charles Martin Smith was, like I said, it was a home run. It was really good, really well directed. Tony Fields, who played Sammy Kerr, was a believable badass, thinking that he's definitely this electrified rock and roll demon from hell. Unfortunately, Tony Fields died from an AIDS-related cancer, I think 1995, so that was very sad. All our characters were really good, really well acted. Tim was such a fucking dick. You recognize that dude. He was in all kind of shit. He was in the 1998 American remake of Godzilla. He was in the third Maniac Cop. He played a hospital doctor. But yeah, this movie was definitely badass. Unfortunately, the DVD is out of print. It was on YouTube in its entirety, but Synapse Films is going to be releasing a Blu-ray of it, so hopefully that comes sooner than later because I cannot wait to get this movie. I have a high-end bootleg I got off a homeboy of eBay, but I'm not gonna snitch because I ain't no snitch. I'm not turning in my essays. But soon enough we're gonna be getting a copy of this movie out, so I cannot wait. Synapse Films does a bunch of great, wonderful projects. All the movies that they ever put out, I think they did an amazing job with. So whenever that Blu-ray hits, jump on it. I know I will be. So out of 5 stars, I'm definitely giving Trick or Treat 4 stars. So check it out. Thank you for taking this ride with me. I'm happy to be back talking about all the cool Halloween movies. Halloween's the best season of the world. Wish it would never end, which it never ends in my mind because it's always Halloween. So again, I'm Bud Haddonfield. This is The Last Video Store. Please like and subscribe. Thank y'all for everything, and be careful out there.
Michael Myers are the heroes of my past. Now the media is dying. Chucky and the zombies are all up in cemeteries. So breathe.